Okay, a master PSY-OP has been accomplished, and I have total absolute proof of this. That What in the World Are They Spraying? The movie is disinfo, and all these releases by the government about so-called geoengineering are also disinfo, and they are coordinated together as um, problem, reaction, solution, thesis, antithesis, synthesis, Hegelian dialectic. This is a technique for molding public opinion. And what is the goal of this? It's very, very simple. The goal of this operation is simply to convince people that chemtrails, quote unquote, and geoengineering, quote unquote, are one and the same. And that is the synthesis. That is the synthesized opinion that is manufactured by creating two artificial viewpoints and then gathering the public into one or two of these viewpoints. And then the final synthesis is the opinion created. And I can prove that that has worked simply by the reaction, by what people are saying online about so-called chemtrails and so-called geoengineering. And all of this revolves around the government has released, just as I said a while back, because I've been following this, that the government would admit to the government would change their tactics from a blanket denial. Well, this is more complicated than that because there's still a blanket denial. But they would introduce this myth, this mythological creature called geoengineering, and they would have this false debate going. They would come out and basically sell geoengineering to the population, which is basically the idea of spraying particles into the sky to stop global warming. And this is totally erroneous. It's a total fraud. It's a total scientific fraud based on global warming, and it emanates from the same source that falsified scientific research and perpetrated the greatest scientific fraud in the history of mankind, which is global warming. All the papers and all the releases about geoengineering emanate from the same source that falsifies scientific research. Now, what did this group of people do? They falsified scientific research on global warming. They also falsified scientific research on the swine flu, and both of those have been totally exposed as fraudulent. And yet, just as in other major scandals like the Iran-Contra scandal or the Franklin cover-up, these people commit monstrous crimes, genocidal scale crimes against humanity, and they just simply deny everything, and they just simply tell lies until it just goes away, and they're never held accountable. And so people right now who are following the greatest crime, this spraying of the skies from airplanes is the greatest single crime ever committed on Earth. And it is the greatest single scandal ever been committed on Earth, and it has not broken yet. It's still being contained effectively by those managing the operation. But what in the world are they spraying? And the simultaneous timed releases of government proposals about geoengineering, and the release of what in the world are they spraying in a coordinated psychological warfare attack on the growing number of people who have seen spraying and have picked up samples from the spraying and had them tested. This is a containment strategy. Now still, the vast majority of people have no idea what's going on. And I proved that too by talking to people. But enough people know exactly what's going on that they did this operation, and what it did was it convinced a huge number of people who are following this issue that what people have been calling chemtrails are geoengineering. And that is the entire goal of this operation. That's the synthesized opinion. But that is totally wrong. That is a false conclusion. And what in the world are they spraying? That is their direct lie, because they say, I never watched the movie, I won't watch it, but I know exactly what's in it because I watched the trailer, and that was enough to see what it was. It says chemtrails / geoengineering as if they're the same thing, and people are actually believing that. Now they released this false UN moratorium on geoengineering, and people who were brainwashed by watching What in the World Are They Spraying are actually believing that that's a ban on chemtrails. This is the most horrible, monstrous lie that's ever been told. First of all, chemtrails, what people are seeing and filming, the spraying, is not geoengineering. And it's not what the geoengineers talked about. And the geoengineers, who that moratorium refers to what the geoengineers have talked about, the geoengineers haven't done any geoengineering. There hasn't been any geoengineering done. They, according to them, they say they haven't done any geoengineering. The moratorium doesn't refer to any geoengineering that's already been done. It only refers to future geoengineering projects. And none of the spraying that people are seeing now is even geoengineering. But the PSY-OP was to plant a doubt in your mind so that when you see spraying, you'll think that it's geoengineering. And it's not. First of all, the geoengineers say that there is no geoengineering being done. And none of the spraying even matches what they describe in geoengineering. So all the moratorium does, it's part of the PSY-OP, to give people this impression that if you see something being sprayed out of an airplane, people, once they finally do realize that it's happening, they'll just say, oh, that must be geoengineering. So they create this false dilemma of, well, should we or shouldn't we do geoengineering? And the synthesized opinion is that it even is geoengineering. So anybody buying the moratorium and what in the world are they spraying, and all these geoengineers talking on the news about spraying particles to stop global warming, they if you buy that, then you're saying that there is no geoengineering going on, and there is no spraying happening. So you're just buying the lie, and not only are you buying the lie, but you're disseminating the government's cover story propaganda to the population.